Yo, Rocco B Scotty G. It is February 13th, Tuesday night, and we are live. This is Pro Football Uncensored. This is Naked Bootleg.
This is a bootleg. Then he comes right back with another bootleg.
I'm Rocco B, the longest reigning heavyweight champion of all time in Louisville, Kentucky, and back home in our lovely, unbelievable hometown of Toms River, New Jersey, my boy Scotty G.
How you doing?
Oh, man, back home safe?
Yes, my friend. It was a great trip.
You over here in the tuck for the Super Bowl?
Yes. The old Kentucky had hosted your boy. And I appreciate the hospitality as always. You and the missus, of course.
It was wonderful. I went too fast, and I'll tell you what. I'll tell you, I didn't think after the first half, we were going to get a good game together. But it looks like, when the second half kicked off, bada boom, bada bing.
I think it was a classic.
Yeah,
I think it was a classic, my brother.
I think if you watched, 3 quarters of it for sure, the last 3 quarters. But yeah, I just again, what did we say before the game? Before we get into this thing, we said, do not bet against Mahomes.
You said that. I did not. I was wrong.
You don't bet against Mahomes. We got to learn. At some point, you got to learn.
At some point, I will.
But here we go, Scotty. Let's just kick it off. Let's roll out with, of course, the score of the game.
Roll up.
We all know. 25-22.
Fucking weird ending.
Weird ending. Overtime.
Weird score.
Some of the weirdest fucking plays that you could imagine in this game happened to me. I don't know. We'll get into it in a little while. I'm not a big fan, Scotty, to be honest with you, of this overtime thing where kind of half of the fucking people watching this game knew what was going on.
I had no clue. I had no clue about the time thing. So I knew about the possession. I didn't realize the time. I don't even know why they were keeping track of time.
Well, apparently, fucking San Francisco didn't know either. So let's just go into real quick.
Oh boy,
the recap of this game before we get real nuts and the fact of where I want to go all in, if you will, Vegas style, on Kyle Shanahan. But before that, let's just real quick recap what we believed happened in this game for 5 quarters, if you will. And I want you to go into what you thought after you saw another 10-0 lead for the San Francisco 49ers against the Kansas City Chiefs in a Super Bowl.
Well, I got to say the exact opposite of what we all kept saying was going to happen happened, except for the fact that Mahomes got it done, as he always fucking does. 3 Super Bowls this guy's got, 3 comeback double-digit victories. I don't know what to say about this kid. But we went into the game, and I know we talked about it extensively before. We didn't know how Niners defense was going to play, and we didn't know how Brock Purdy was going to play. Mm-hmm. Our other fear was we didn't know if Mahomes could score in the second half with the way this team's been going. Well, the Niners defense came out in the first 3 quarters looking like fucking
they were ready.
Rabid dogs. Rabid dogs.
Rabid dogs.
They were fucking flying everywhere. They're tackling everything. I mean, Kelsey had like 1 catch for 1 yard in the whole first half.
1 yard. He's knocking over his own fucking coach. He was so frustrated.
Oh, yeah. We got to talk about that before we get out of here, too.
God.
So, I mean, they were everywhere. Brock Purdy played a very good first half. He played an okay second half. I think overall he played a good game. He obviously didn't put that team on his back, which I guess he needed to do. I didn't think he was going to have to, but I guess the way it played out, he needed to, and he didn't get it done. But Mahomes, holy shit. So first off, that offense didn't show up the first half. That was abysmal the first half. And the defense couldn't stop a nosebleed when it came. If it said Christian McCaffrey on the back of the jersey, they couldn't stop anything.
Imagine if CMC does not put the rock on the ground in that first drive, right? They could not stop CMC during
So
that first drive.
there was a lot of what ifs. If they don't put the rock on the ground, if you don't have the punt that knocks off the guy's ankle, if you don't have the blocked extra point, and
Yeah, maybe you go for a touchdown instead of a fucking field goal in overtime. But yes, we'll get to that.
So it basically played out kind of opposite. I mean, KC came out in the second half, was fucking slinging the thing around, looked great, was scoring points. And then all of a sudden in the fourth quarter, the Niners defense just didn't have an answer for that Kansas City offense, or at least in the last couple drives there. And, of course, which we're going to get to, the play calling was abysmal in the second half. I mean, there was 3 drives. Now, I'm sure you know this. I don't know if it was the third quarter or the fourth quarter. There was 3 drives in a row where San Fran went 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. 9 plays. On those 9 plays, 8 of them were passes. And this is after CMC's averaging 4.8 yards a carry or something for the total game. It's like, I don't know, man.
We're going to get into also something that nobody is talking about as far as what you just said. Those 3 drives, especially when they go 3 and out. San Francisco was miserable on third down. There's a huge reason why they were, and we'll get into that in a little bit.
I just want to finish up by saying Niners defense, I think, showed up. Purdy played well enough to win. But that offense has been, what, number 1 in the league all year? They couldn't get the ball past the 6-yard mark. 6-yard attempts, and they didn't run the ball. So I think coaching and pushing the ball downfield, which I guess I got to put a little of that on Purdy's shoulders. So what are your thoughts on it?
Well, here's the thing. I don't want to recap this fucking game. It's been recapped to
No,
death.
that's why I just said that, what I said.
But here's the thing, okay? And I'm glad you did, because, again, it's been recapped to death. It's already fucking Tuesday night.
Everybody knows what the fuck happened.
Let's just get to the nitty-gritty, if you don't mind.
All right.
Okay.
What you got?
Let's just go with what you just said, okay? The Niners were abysmal on third down, okay?
All game. I agree.
All game. And a big reason why, which is what no one is talking about, and tying this in with Kyle Shanahan and the piss-poor coaching job that he has now done in 3 Super Bowls in a row. Trent Williams, false start. Trent Williams, holding. Aaron Burks, holding. Penalties that
Sloppy was the word of the game.
Killed drives. So, these games, you watch Dallas, right? And you watch Mike McCarthy, standing on the sidelines doing nothing while the Cowboys get 9, 10, 11 penalties a fucking game, killing drive after drive after drive, or bringing back a huge play or bringing back a touchdown or whatever. We crucify McCarthy, as we should. Where is that for Shanahan? Okay? His guys, his all-pro tackle made 2 penalties on 1 fucking drive. Okay? So that's a huge piece of coaching, right? What did we say all game watching the 49ers on offense? What the fuck are they doing? Throwing it?
What the fuck did I do wrong?
What the fuck? I mean, like, what are they doing? Okay? Like, I want to know, seriously. Debo seemed like he was getting targeted almost every play.
Hey, I got a news flash for everybody too.
What the fuck did I do wrong? What the fuck?
Debo is a great weapon and football player. He is not a great receiver. So why the ball was going to him every goddamn play, I have no idea. But I'll let you continue. I just had to make sure I said that.
11 targets, 3 carries, so 14 basically targets to give him the ball. He only had 41 total yards. They had him locked up. Trent McDuffie had him locked up all game, right?
Hell of a player.
So then, okay, well, who else did we say? We know CMC's getting his touches, man. He had 30 touches. I mean, look at this stat line for CMC. 30 touches for 160 yards. Okay? He got his touches. He got his yards. Yeah, he put the rock on the ground, in the first drive. But he got his shit. We knew he was getting his shit.
That's 30 touches, though, with receiving.
Yes, it was 8 catches and 22 carries.
Yeah, but he didn't get enough touches, rushing the ball.
So here's the thing. You think, okay, you had Ayuk as the guy. I had Kittle as the guy. Ayuk, 3 catches. Okay. And a decent yardage line, right? But how do you have George Kittle, the guy who is the separator on your offense?
Here's a guy.
Here's a guy. 2 catches for 4 yards? You kidding me? 3 targets? He basically was blocking all game. Okay. And we said, Juszczyk should be a fucking huge option here. And he was on the first drive. We had a huge, nice little propski on that. It was beautiful. But the fact is that it was like they were a one-trick pony at receiver with Deebo Samuel, and they were a one-trick pony with the running back, of course, with CMC. They did not. I mean, where is this Shanahan brilliant fucking play caller?
Offense, yeah.
Where is it? So I was really shocked, Scotty. To be honest with you. And then again, of course, we can just throw it in here. You get Patrick Mahomes being a Super Bowl 58 MVP, big shocker. He is a guy that nobody now can argue. He is the best of the era. Okay. He is the best quarterback in this era. Maybe can you say, Shanahan got beat by the best in the era, twice? Yeah, sure. But this was not a classic Mahomes type of game. Okay.
He threw a pick. He did throw a pick.
He gave him an interception, and they did nothing with it. So I don't know. This is a weird game to me, Scotty. Some weird ass plays, like you said. I think the pick was one of the weirder ones. Mahomes throwing in double coverage. And CMC putting the ball on the ground in the beginning. I don't know what to think of this game as far as who won it, who lost it, whatever. I liked seeing overtime, and I think the overtime rule was very interesting. And I think when we get into Shanahan and all of that, we got to get into how his team had no fucking clue what the overtime was all about.
No idea.
So,
I think a good way to sum up. I think a good way to sum up the game. I think it was a sloppy game overall.
Yep.
I think the Niners came out as the team to win, but they let their opportunity slip to kind of take a lead, and Mahomes rallied his troops, rallied his mind, and he did what Mahomes does down the stretch. I think the Niners had a chance to close this game out if they score on that first drive. I mean, I think the first half, it was 120 to like 6 yards or something, of yardage or something between the Niners and the Chiefs. It was like 120 yards to 6. They had 3 points. 3-point difference.
7-point difference. Yeah, it was 10-3.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
The Chiefs had 3 points. The Niners had 10 points. Yeah. It was a 7-point difference. It was a 1 score.
Yeah.
So it was too much, man. It was too much.
So if you look at Mahomes' stats, right? So it's he had the pick. I think the biggest thing, the guy had 399 yards, essentially 400 total yards, right?
It's pretty good.
This guy, pretty good. This guy's legs were the key to this game. When Nick Bosa, literally, and this has got to be said too, people talk so much shit about he's not a two-way player. He can't stop the run. He's a pass rusher, all that. I don't know whether all that noise got in his head or not, but if you watch the replay of every play, and we saw it live in living color, he was fucking screaming down the line of scrimmage. He bit on every handoff, every play fake in the world. He's just whoop, and they saw it. And Mahomes ran about 2 or 3 fucking read options with his back and just pulled it and ran, while Bosa was right behind the center's ass, basically at that point. So
it was helpful in the beginning because Pacheco couldn't get his legs going for a while.
No, because like you said, that defense was playing with their hair on fire.
Yeah,
and honestly, they had to figure something out, and they made some adjustments, and and Mahomes was using his legs.
Losing Greenlaw didn't help though.
Was big. Oh no. Oh man.
I think having Greenlaw for that 4th and 1 could have been the difference.
Yeah. How ridiculous is that? Celebrating a big play on special teams, running out for defense, and boom, pops the Achilles.
They call this the year of the backup quarterback. I might have to call this the year of the fucking Achilles, man.
Year of the Achilles
injuries we have.
Year of the Achilles.
Oh,
and then here's your boy Purdy stats.
Yeah.
Just not enough. Not enough.
He didn't play bad though.
70 QBR. Yeah, I mean, didn't play bad. But
By the way, you wanted Purdy at 12.5. Did you see what his rush runs are? By the way, he had 13 and he kneeled.
Oh, that's terrible. Yeah, it's terrible. Again, I'm never touching a prop again. But that's okay. You did great. But here's the thing. Let's get into the fun part. Okay. Let me just get this fired up for everybody because I'm so excited. So excited to get into this.
Oh,
all right. This is my new nickname, ladies and gentlemen, for Kyle Shanahan. I call him Kyle Shanahan Cuffs.
It's pretty good.
Because I believe that he is handcuffing his quarterback in the Super Bowl, number 1, if you think about it. Matt Ryan choked. Jimmy G choked. Brock Purdy didn't give him the opportunity to fucking say, hey, Patty, you want the ball in overtime? You're going to have to go score a fucking touch. And then you're going to have to go do a little octopus, which I fucking can't stand that phrase, if you want to go win this game in overtime, because we're going to get in the fucking end zone. We're not just going to kick a field goal on our own 9-yard line with 4th and 4. We're going to actually keep going, get in the end zone, and put some pressure on your ass. No, he didn't let Purdy do that. He didn't let Purdy do that a lot during the game. He didn't throw the ball past 17 yards other than twice the whole game. So
now, real quick, do you blame Shanahan for that or do you blame Purdy for that?
I think it's if you watch,
I think it's a little both, but I get you.
I think more Shanahan, because if you look at it, Purdy was generally throwing to his first read for the most part. Okay. And these plays were schemed by Shanahan mostly to get to Debo. But then when he tried to scheme a deep ball to Ayuk, he wasn't open. You're still throwing him the ball, but he wasn't open. So it doesn't mean that he was like, oh, he's open now, I'm going to throw this one. I think a lot of the plays were schemed. And again, when you have Purdy as a small guy who has fucking his defensive tackles pushing the guards and centers back in his face, it's going to be hard for him to throw the ball. And he's not a great deep ball thrower. So, he's perfect for the West Coast, but there's sometimes you got to fucking open it up.
Yeah.
So Shanahan cuffs, right? So you got him, right? And then I want to get to a guy. Here's a guy. Seth Wickersham at fucking ESPN, right?
Here's what I would. We've been talking about this guy for like a week. Who is this guy?
This is an NFL fucking
I don't know
writer
who this is.
for their website. I want to just let you know, Seth.
Really pissed you off, huh?
I wouldn't, maybe next time, maybe next year, maybe next championship of whatever sport you're going to fucking cover, because hopefully you do more than the NFL because you don't know fucking shit. Here's what I saw the other day was his headline, okay, on his article a couple days before the Super Bowl. Kyle Shanahan will not be denied. And then you click on it, and it says, Kyle Shanahan, he doubles down here, is ready to meet the moment. Okay. He's leaving nothing to chance this time, huh? Yeah, nothing to chance. Let me tell you, nothing to chance. Kyle Shanahan was and will always be denied. I'm sorry. He's got the bugaboo on him. He's got the monkey on his back, right? And he's not ready for the moment, okay? He proved it to us all again, okay? 2 years in 2 Super Bowls in 4 years with the Chiefs and Niners. And then, of course, the epic, most unbelievable meltdown of all time in the Super Bowl against the Patriots, okay? So you got that. 49ers fans, what do you want me to tell you? You want me to tell you guys are all, rosy and things are looking up in the future, and you don't have all these free agents you got to worry about, and Brandon Ayuk and Debo Samuel at odds, and all of a sudden you got Brock Purdy, is he going to want to get paid? You're going to have to pay him to make sure you keep him and all that. He's only going to make $985K next year. Holy shit.
They can't pay him next year.
And under the CBA, Scotty, thank you. You can't touch his fucking contract.
I didn't know you had that.
You can't touch it. So now you got a guy who's essentially like, it's like another proof. It's weird as fuck. It's like a franchise tag almost. It is. He's in a situation where you either now have a guy that you can pay, you're going to pay in 2025 and beyond, or you're right back in the same fucking boat that you were with Trey Lance 2 years ago. Okay. No. And you're going to be looking for a quarterback.
Why? So right? You think they need to look for a quarterback before we go back to Kyle Shanahan? We're kind of jumping around here.
I'm saying if he shits the bed next year, if Brock Purdy shits the bed and you're like, all right, well, fuck, it only costs us $980,000. Let's get somebody else. You're in the same boat as they were when they made the worst trade in the history of the draft.
Let me hold your feet to the fire a little bit, as they like to say. What would you consider shitting the bed? Because if the Niners don't make the playoffs, but Purdy has 4,000 yards, let's say 35 touchdowns, or let's say 28 touchdowns and 9 interceptions or 10 interceptions, and overall is in the upper echelons as far as like percentage, QBR.
My feet are burning over here.
If that's the case, but they miss the playoffs, they just don't win enough games.
Sure.
And maybe sometimes it's even Purdy's fault because maybe 3 or 4 of those 10 interceptions are in critical moments. You're moving on from him after what he did in his first 2 seasons?
I think my feet have burnt off. Thank you. Here's the thing, Scotty, you like in a perfect world, you could say, well, everything's in a bubble. Like, oh, he's great, but we lost. Why'd you lose? And then not only that, but I would say,
you're saying Shanahan.
Who else has got to go? Because if you're going to tell me, and I think you would say this, that the San Francisco 49ers have the most talented roster in the league, right?
Yes.
They have a quarterback that makes the least, but yet you think is pretty damn talented.
Yes.
One of these offensive mastermind coaches, one of these, aggressive as hell GMs.
Yep.
Why wouldn't you make the playoffs? Right?
Shit happens, man.
So, if shit happens, and somebody's got to be held to the fire. Someone's got to pay. So who's?
Yeah, but it can't be Purdy. Quarterbacks don't grow on trees, man.
Okay.
You might have found a diamond in the rough. Hey, real quick, I don't have these numbers in front of me because I didn't pull them because I didn't think I needed them because I didn't think I didn't have to come on here to defend Brock Purdy. But I can pull this up another show, or we can look it up at some point in time if you want. The QBR standard. QBR standard and QBR against pressure.
Yes.
Purdy, Josh Allen, Lamar, Tua against the Kansas City Chiefs. Purdy had the best for against pressure and without pressure.
Yeah.
So you got 3 other quarterbacks that everyone's calling top 5 in the league.
What I was saying, it really wasn't an indictment on Purdy. It's the fact that San Fran is in a weird spot with him because he's essentially a lame duck, right? If it's either you've got to pay him $60 million because he's so good, or
why wouldn't you pay him $60 million?
Or you're in the same boat. I'm saying if he shits the bed, right? But what I'm saying, based on what you were asking me if they missed the playoffs.
Yes.
Why'd they miss the playoffs then? So if Purdy's good enough,
could be a number of reasons.
No, but
could be injuries. Could be this.
If Purdy is good enough, why would they miss the playoffs? Because they.
All right. How about this? How about they make the playoffs? How about they
make go then?
Okay, but I don't think you can move on from this quarterback.
I'm not.
He would have to take a Carson. I'm just saying he has to take a Carson Wentz type of dive for me to move on because I don't know how many, if any, off the top of my head. I could probably count if I really research it. There's probably a couple, but not many. Probably on one hand, quarterbacks in their first 2 starts.
Yeah.
Did what he did. Now I can also probably count on one hand quarterbacks in that great of a situation. I agree with that as well. So we got to see. Now,
I'm just saying they might be in a Dak Prescott situation. They might be in a situation where you got to pay a guy top of the market and he can't win you a Super Bowl or he can't win you with this because of maybe his coach or whatever. That's a
So-
shitty situation to be in.
I agree with that. He could be. We don't know yet. Yeah. And I do think some of those guys got to go. Like Ayuk might have to go, which it's not bad in Jersey. You can come live over here, play for the Jets, baby.
Yeah.
But someone's got to go. Me personally, I would ship out Debo. You got McCaffrey. Debo is a great weapon. Like I said, he's not a great receiver, but I mean he's okay receiver, but he's a better weapon than he is a receiver. He is more of that mentality on offense. But you got McCaffrey. Like, use him.
Well,
I got to say, though, go ahead.
You said Ayuk, right? You said Ayuk, and
I want to talk Shanahan before we get into Ayuk.
Okay. All right.
Because I didn't get into my Shanahan thing.
Oh, okay.
So, real quick. We spoke yesterday. We spent a lovely weekend together.
Yeah. In the heart-shaped fucking hot tub and all that. Yeah, it's all that. Yes.
Yep. I got quizzed on every jersey number you can imagine by little Austie.
Uh-huh.
But lovely time. Don't get me wrong. And I woke up the next morning, in my own bed. You were in your bed. I was in my bed. Let's just get that straight.
I know. Well,
I woke up
4 nights in a row.
I woke up and I said to you, Shanahan sucks. I said, this guy's got to go. He is the worst. And for a day and a half, we spoke about how Shanahan is a lame duck coach. He can't get over the hump, blah, blah, blah. I came home, still thought that way. I slept, had a couple conversations with some of my Niner buddies who don't particularly like Shanahan. Let me get that straight. A lot of people I know that like the Niners do not like Shanahan. He's not very beloved in the Niner Nation, let's just say.
Yeah,
that.
I wouldn't doubt it.
So I was thinking, though, between just all the different thoughts and blah, blah, blah. And I looked across that Super Bowl tandem there. You got the Chiefs on one side, and you got the Niners on the other side. And on that Chiefs side, there is a large man who resembles a walrus. He's actually lost some weight. He
has. Yes.
He actually lost some weight.
Yes.
And we'll get into him getting pushed over. He was like, I was pretty upset about that. But
such a nice old man.
Do you remember what was said about Andy Reid about, 7 years ago?
Couldn't win the big one.
Couldn't win the big one.
The big one.
So I just thought, all right, well, how comparable is, are we doing apples to apples or apples to oranges here? So I looked at it real quick.
I prefer bananas.
So we all know Shanahan has blown games. And I'm not saying Reid's blown games, but Reid's first Super Bowl as a coordinator, they didn't win. They lost. The only Super Bowl he won as a coordinator, he wasn't a coordinator. He was a quarterback tight end coach. When he was an assistant coach in Green Bay, they didn't win. They lost.
Yep.
Okay? The first time he went to a Super Bowl as a head coach, you know how old he was? 46 years old.
46. Okay.
Shanahan's already been to 2. You know how old Shanahan is?
44.
44 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how old? Now, remind you, 46, 4, and 44. You know how old Reid was when he won his first Super Bowl? Just take a guess.
Oh, let's see. So you got Patriots, Eagles. What was he? 46. So you're probably saying another, 10, 12. So he's probably 60?
61.
61. Wow.
So this guy went from couldn't win it at 46 to 60 years old.
Sure.
To now people are arguing on the internet's blowing up about how, Belichick's overrated. He couldn't do it with Brady. And Andy Reid's getting considered potentially the greatest coach of all time.
Yes. Cowherd just fucking said he is the best.
So I just want to say, as much as I agree Shanahan fucked up this Super Bowl, I think he fucked up the last Super Bowl. I think he fucked up the Super Bowl with Atlanta. There's 2 things to think about. One, there's still time for him to completely flip this narrative.
Yes.
And 2, who would you argue maybe at this point in time, trajectory as let's say projection and what is
trajectory? How about that? We'll put it together.
Trajectory. Yeah, I like that word. Trajectory, best quarterback of all time, best quarterback of all time. the two guys in the conversation, Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes. Now, there's other arguments, but those two are definitely in the conversation.
Yeah.
Who did Kyle Shanahan lose to?
Yeah. I mean, I like this salacious little fucking nugget that you just gave. I dig it.
I know you still don't like him.
No, but here's okay. So on the Reid side, right? Think about Andy Reid. He had one of the most talented fucking teams on paper with Philadelphia. Okay.
A couple times.
Yes. And you're talking 4 NFC championship games in a row with the Eagles, right? Okay. And his most egregious loss was when hot weather Tampa Bay came into Philly and beat them, which was insane. But, they get to the Super Bowl finally against the Patriots. They lose. McNabb can't fucking hold his chunks, and that's it. T.O. is a fucking monster on a broken leg. We'll get to that at some point. But what happened with Andy Reid, with Alex Smith, even with the Kansas City Chiefs?
Successful.
Kelsey had pretty good. He was pretty successful, but he didn't get there. Didn't get it done.
Yeah.
He took the chance and took the fucking big shot in the draft. Went and got his guy who he thought could be the next guy with Mahomes, and look what happened. Okay. Please don't, go into another half-hour defense mode of Purdy here. But what I think Shanahan is lacking, he may be the next Marv Levy. He may be the guy who can lose 4 Super Bowls before he wins one. And Marv Levy never won one. He could be Marty Schottenheimer, but he can't really be Schottenheimer because he's already been in 2 Super Bowls. So you can't even be that bad. Okay. But is he going to win a Super Bowl with Matt Ryan? Is he going to win a Super Bowl with Jimmy G? Is he going to win a Super Bowl with Purdy? The Atlanta Falcons were so damn talented. They gave Matt Ryan an MVP because of it. The San Francisco 49ers 4 years ago were also uber talented with a game manager in Jimmy G. And this year, you could say that the 49ers were the most talented team.
They were.
With Brock Purdy, okay? And he's 0-3. I think he's missing the dynamic quarterback. And I think if you gave him the dynamic quarterback, he would win a Super Bowl, maybe multiple. But he doesn't have it. So they're and he's not going to have it next year because I don't think Purdy still is it.
You might be right, but and there could still be a better. I mean, he could get a better quarterback than Purdy. I'm not saying he can't, but you can almost argue he tried to do that with Trey Lance, didn't work out, and he actually took the gamble by going with Mr. Irrelevant. You can argue he already just dove into the pile of shit here, and it just hasn't happened yet. But
that's why I told you Kirk Cousins is very interesting.
And don't think Mahomes is the first dynamic player he had. When McNabb was on the Eagles, we had never seen much like that.
Yeah,
like people over like shit talk McNabb. There was not many quarterbacks that could throw and run.
But the difference between McNabb and Mahomes would never throw up in a huddle, never. And McNabb threw up in a huddle.
I get it.
Couldn't handle it.
That's mentality, though.
It's the intangibles. It's all that shit. A quarterback has to have all of it. But the fact is, I like Purdy. I mean, a lot of people don't. I like him. I don't think he's dynamic. I don't think he's an old school quarterback. He's better than Dak to me because I think Dak needs. I don't even think he can do it with a perfect team. I really don't. Like all these fucking morons are saying
about that.
If you put Dak on the 49ers, they win a Super Bowl. Bullshit.
Maybe.
Because I don't. Maybe. He's just like McNabb. He doesn't have the clutch gene. He doesn't have the. I'm not gonna fucking blow chunks in a huddle. He doesn't have that. I'm going to fucking put my balls on my shoulder and lead this team down in the fourth quarter or in overtime when I'm down 3. You think Dak would ever do that? Come on.
Well, Mahomes is clutch. That's the biggest thing.
It's huge. And he's the most interestingly talented quarterback we've ever seen. And he's clutch. So, I mean, that's why he's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Now, real quick, I do want to get into Mahomes since we're talking about him. Real quick, I just want to say this is what Mahomes reminds me of, and we'll get into this when we talk about the Chiefs offseason later on in another episode. But we made our big thing about 7 reasons why Mahomes ain't going to win 7, and we got into our nice little argument there about is he going to be Brady? Is he going to be the greatest of all time by the time it's over? Yeah. I think when I think of Mahomes, it's the most perfect analogy that I can give you. Mahomes is Tiger Woods. Okay. He is, when Tiger Woods burst on the scene in 97, won the Masters as an amateur. You're going to tell me that, or as a first-year pro, you're going to tell me that Mahomes is the same way. Burst onto the scene, 5,000 yards. Holy shit. Who is this kid? Right? We've never seen this stuff before. He's doing stuff we've never seen. Tiger Woods doing stuff we've never seen on a golf course. Oh, he's definitely going to get 20 majors. He's definitely going to beat Jack. Oh, fucking Mahomes definitely going to beat Brady. You know, oh my God, he's already got 3. It's been 3 in 7 years. Oh my God. What happened to Tiger? I know there was like some extenuating circumstances.
Yeah, a little different than I think with my Mahomes.
But it was a shoe-in. If you're to tell me in 2007 or 2008, after 8 or 10 years of Tiger's career, would he beat Jack? Everyone would bet their house that he would. Okay. Just like everyone's betting their house now that Mahomes is going to be better than Brady. He's going to have more chips. He's going to have more stats. He's going to blah, blah, blah. Okay. Look at these two guys. Okay. So let's just pump the brakes. Okay.
What was that? Were you supposed to? We were trying to say they look alike?
No, I mean, look at them. These are the guys. Okay. Tiger looks a little different than he used to be. But I still love him.
You should have put up the drunk photo of Tiger.
The mugshot. Yeah. Put the mugshot next to this picture. Should have been.
It should have. That's what you should have done. I don't know. You missed a golden opportunity there.
Woo! Let me take this banner down so we can see that gut. Yeah. So here's the thing. Let's not go start sucking each other's dicks just yet with Mahomes. Okay, it's 3 and 7. I'm admitting right now to you and everybody. This is the Patrick Mahomes era.
I'm going to tell you right now, and I don't care what you or anyone says. It's facts at this point. This is the greatest 6-season start a quarterback's ever had in history of the NFL.
I agree with
you.
We could go down
ever.
Forever.
And I get it. The games change and there's things.
We can go into that.
We can't though. It is what it is.
I know. So I'm with you. He is the best now. He's the best of this era. It's the best first 6 seasons in a quarterback history. I get it.
I still don't think he gets 7. I still don't think he gets 7 because it's so hard to do.
It's hard, man.
Tiger's a good comparison. I just don't think. I mean, if you tell me he's going to fall off because of injury or some other shit, or he's going to step away from football, like Jordan. I don't know, Jordan, or he's going to do a Deion Sanders where he does like another sport.
Yeah.
Then you got me on like I don't know what's going to happen in that 6 to 10 year run, but if he just sticks to doing what he's doing, I think he gets to at least 2 more, and I think he wins at least 1 more. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. And I don't understand how the 49ers are favored next year. I don't understand.
I'll tell you what though, I'm not doing this twice where I bet against this fucking.
Can't.
Because I did it with Brady for years. Yeah, no. He's not gonna keep going. No. He's gonna get hurt. He's gonna fall off. He's gonna this. He's gonna that. Bro, I wouldn't be shocked if Brady comes back next year because he's pissed that everyone's saying Mahomes is gonna catch him.
I mean, I still don't buy he's retired, but we'll see.
Imagine Brady goes to the Niners.
Oh, or he says, you know what? Fuck it. I'm playing for the Raiders. I'm owning them and I'm playing. I'm fucking Pete Rose in this thing.
Speaking of the Raiders, can we talk about Mr. Ayuk for a minute?
Yeah, I was wondering if you wanted to get into that at this point.
So
nobody something which is weird, but go ahead.
Nobody has any idea what's going on, and social media is social media. But nowadays, the way people work, especially athletes, they do express themselves through social media. So we can no longer dismiss what's on Twitter or X or Instagram or whatever the fuck these people are on.
Yeah. Face chat, whatever the fuck it is.
We can't ignore it anymore. So with that being said, there is an X post that's come out. And as you can see here, now I believe this is from the best friend of Brandon Ayuk. So again, guy could have been drunk. Guy might not know what the fuck he's talking about.
Well, and he was pissed. I mean, we know he's pissed.
He might have had his mortgage on fucking Brandon Ayuk over fucking receptions and yardage. I don't know.
DraftKings, baby. But this is what this guy says on his feed here. This is the exact reason why we leave in San Francisco. Thank you, 49ers, for drafting my brother. We are forever grateful. BA to Vegas. Vegas, huh? Wow. Why does your all-pro 1,300-yard receiver, who I love, have 3 catches in the Super Bowl?
A good question. A hell of a good question. And for those who don't know, too, Debo actually responded to one of these. Or no, sorry, it wasn't a response. He put it out there and said to Brandon Ayuk or at Brandon Ayuk, whatever, however the fuck it works, where he said, remember how you got there or something. Now, we don't know if it's connected, but I would assume the two are connected. I have no idea. But this is kind of what's going on right now in the X world, as you would say. And it's definitely raising a red flag and an eyebrow for me. I don't know.
Very emotional. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it is an emotional time. I'm sure. So we got to take everything with a grain of salt right now.
Here's the problem. You know I love Ayuk, to Dave.
I would take him on the Jets. No doubt.
He's probably as good as gone, okay? Because you got to think they've paid CMC, they've paid Debo.
Trent Williams paid.
Kittle ain't going anywhere. They're going to have to pay Purdy at some point. They got some defensive guys that they're going to have to figure out. Ayuk's on his rookie deal still. I mean, he's in his last year of his rookie deal. That's an easily tradable piece right there. So I could see Ayuk in another uniform starting next year. And damn, I'd love him in Dallas. Would love him in Dallas.
Why do you think they said Vegas?
That's where he wants to go. He went to Arizona State. I wonder if his family's from Nevada or something. I would love him on Dallas. I don't think he's going to be a Niner next year.
That's an interesting piece, though, to add to the offseason.
He's on the Jets there, Stubmuffin. I think if you can't get
that's another guy. You got the Salah connection.
That's another guy, and you get him cheap. Hello. That's a great move. That'd be a great.
I mean, he is similar to Garrett Wilson, as I think you mentioned. But I mean, having two of those guys with you go get another big body somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not bad.
Yeah. Now, real quick too, I want us to just get into the ridiculosity of the double standardness, if you will, of let's just imagine. Okay, Scotty, let's have a little story time. Let's imagine, I don't know, Odell Beckham Jr. or Myles Garrett, even after his fucking helmet swinging debacle, or Deontay Johnson, or who else could we say? I don't know. Even Jameson Williams, your boy. Imagine if they bumped into their fucking head coach to the point where they almost fell over, and then were starting to scream in their face.
Are you saying because they're black? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just saying because
you named all black players, so I'm assuming this is a race thing.
But just imagine, because Travis Kelce apparently has some type of halo around this fucking guy that he can do no wrong. Everyone forgets this guy early in his career was an asshole. This guy threw a flag at a referee early in his career, Kelce. He's an asshole, and the fact that he's doing this is multiple times. Yeah, multiple times that he's done this to Andy Reid. He even flipped out. What was it in either the championship game or the game against who the fuck was before Baltimore?
Miami.
So you're telling me that Miami, Buffalo, right? Who they beat Buffalo?
Buffalo. Oh yeah, Buffalo.
Yeah, it was a Buffalo game. So,
but he freaked out. He freaked out a little in the Buffalo game, but it was the Buffalo game when Mahomes freaked out that they both were kind of losing their shit.
Yes, but that's the thing. Like, why isn't he getting in trouble? Was it just because they won?
He should get it. He should get a fine. Fuck. I was very upset with it. I mean, I don't know why. I don't know why, but Big Red is kind of like, he's earned my respect over the years, and he just, to me, he seems like just like grandpa, dude. He's not that old. I mean, he's 65. He's not that old, but he just feels like, I don't know, because we've been watching him so long. You got him on these commercials now. He just feels like a lovable kind of guy, and he's always so nice and soft spoken to the media. So I've never heard him or seen him be really an asshole. I don't know if he is or not behind closed doors.
He's always got his wife coming with him all the time on the interview.
I always see him like being super nice and cute with like Mahomes' daughter and shit. Like, I don't know, man. He just seems like such a nice guy, and it's like I couldn't imagine. Bro, Reed looks scared, and I've never seen Kelsey look like that. Kelsey actually looked a little scary.
It was like he was like partying with fucking LT or something before the game, fucking coked up and shit. It was like he had those fucking Montana eyes. It was crazy.
Yeah, he was
It was
going nuts.
But
He should be fined. The whole reason apparently was because apparently the reason was they had the backup tight end and there was a penalty on it because he had a holding penalty on that call or something like that, or there was
no, it was the fact it was right
or the
before
fumble.
Pacheco fumbled. He got taken out. He wasn't on the field. Pacheco fumbles, and he's probably pissed. Number one, he's off the field. Number two, he's probably pissed he didn't get the ball because he had 1 catch and 1 yard for the fucking first half. So but
some people are saying that he actually said, "Keep me in, fucker," and then I'm calm. Is what I don't know if that's true, but there's some people that are these internet lip readers that are saying what he said. I don't know.
It's brutal. But Scotty, it was a hell of a Super Bowl. I was with you. I mean, I don't want to see it either. But now this leads us to, let's go, baby, the offseason. We are now in the offseason.
Official.
And it's time. I mean, it's fucking time. It is absolutely time for us to get into all 32 teams, what their draft status looks like, what their offseason with free agency and all that and trades looks like. We're going to have a separate episodes, of course, we have to, on the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Jets. But every other team, we're going to put 2 teams in one episode, and we're going to diagram everything that team needs to do, should do, what we believe is going to happen with everything in the offseason. It's going to be fucking fantastic. We're going to get that all done before the draft. And the league year starts March 13th. So we got a month. We got a month to fucking let this shit percolate, figure out what's going to happen, what we think is going to happen. And of course, we got the combine here in a couple weeks. So yeah, it's our time of year, baby. Unfortunately, but this is our favorite, but it's time. It's time.
You ready?
All right. So I think for tonight, this will do it. The fucking Super Bowl's in the book. Super Bowl 58. One more time. Let's flash it up on the screen. 25, 22.
Oh, before we get out of here, we didn't mention. What's your quick thoughts on the overtime rules and shit?
The confusion was. Go ahead, lay it out.
Well, the confusion was that first off, the players didn't know. You had Jusic and who was it? Armstead came out and said they had no idea. They said they learned it by looking up at the Jumbotron. No one told them about it. They didn't know that if you score a touchdown, the other team still gets the ball. So there was no way in hell that the other team, or that the team who won the coin toss, there's no way in hell you should take the ball because you want to see what the other team's doing. Because now it's 4-down territory and you know exactly what you need.
Another mistake,
which was a big mistake that Kyle Shanahan made. And it makes me wonder if Kyle Shanahan knew the fucking rules. With that being said, forget about that. We know Shanahan fucked up. We know how it played out. I think if they knew the rules, it would have been different because it felt like they were running the last drive, the last series of plays.
Yeah.
It felt like they were almost like, all right, let's just ball security. If we get in, we get in. But let's just make sure we're in the middle of the field. Let's make sure we're setting our kicker up. It was almost like they were playing for the field goal instead of taking shots in the end zone, which baffles me as well. But we already explained that. Let me ask you, though, the new rule with the time clock, too. The time clock does not matter. I don't
know why there's a clock, Scotty.
When the clock runs out, it just starts a double overtime. Yeah. But whoever had the ball continues to keep possession of the ball, which is why the Chiefs were not rushing at the end of the game when it was 16 seconds, and why the Niners were looking around like, are they going to call timeout? Because they had no fucking clue.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't know either.
What are they doing? The game's over. We're winning by 3. What the fuck?
Exactly. Yeah. So, real quick, this all started because of Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, their duel 2 years ago. Josh Allen never got the ball again. Well, boo-hoo. Yes. Fucking boo-hoo, Josh Allen. Fucking bitch-ass Buffalo Bills. With that being said, what are your quick thoughts on this new rule? And do you think it should be the rule for the regular season as well?
No, not the regular season. I can't stand ties. So here's what I would change about the regular season real quick. No 10-minute overtime. Give me a 15-minute quarter. Okay? Forget about 10 minutes. Give me a 15-minute overtime. If we still can't have a fucking score after a 15-minute overtime, then get a stupid ass tie. But do not stop cutting it down. It's a 10-minute overtime. Doesn't make any sense. In the playoffs, you can't have, to me, like it was last time, sudden death. Like I think that's silly. Remember, we started off, what was this, 5 years ago, Scotty, where it was still the old rules of, what was it? A field goal won the game.
Yeah, crazy.
Okay, sudden death. If you think about how far we've come, it's crazy. A field goal would have won the game. Okay.
Patriots won a game in the playoffs on a field goal.
Now, you had to score a touchdown, okay, which Kansas City did in that unbelievable, like you said, duel with the bitch-ass Buffalo Bills, which is they're going to be their nickname from now on. I appreciate that. That sounds so good. But now, since that game, they said, you know what? The other guy's got to have the ball. Bada beep, bada boop. Here we go. But, Scotty, like I just said, I don't understand why there's a clock then. Why is there a clock?
No
clock.
Matter? Yeah, there should be no clock.
What does it matter?
It made it more confusing.
College football doesn't have a clock in their fucking
and why? And I don't even know why there's even really timeouts. I mean, I guess
you need timeouts, but like, why is there a clock? I don't understand. So if somebody, if because there's a play clock, so maybe if you had to call timeout, whatever, I get it. But why is there a clock? Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. Even if, like, let's just say it's dueling field goals or dueling touchdowns, and then the third team gets the next team gets the ball in the third possession, it's sudden death at that point. Time doesn't matter. So why do we have a clock?
I don't know.
That's the only thing I have with it. It's just the Romo was like literally making sure that everybody like kind of was understanding what was going on, but he didn't do it clearly. He just kept saying, "Oh, it's like the end of the quarter. It's like the end of the quarter. Don't worry, it's the end of the quarter." Like, huh? Don't. What are you talking about? But that's what it was. It's because the Chiefs never ended that possession yet, and you just never think that in a 10-minute overtime that there's only going to be one possession per team. It's crazy. So it was just weird, very strange. They ran the same fucking play, corn dog. They renamed it Tom and Jerry for this one that they scored twice in the Super Bowl against the Eagles. So,
Mecole Hardman, man.
Yeah,
whoever had him in the start of the season.
Jets fans, baby. Just another fucking piece of salt in the wound. But yeah, man. I don't like that. I don't think there should be a clock then. Doesn't make any sense to have a clock. So, but yeah, just imagine that 5 years ago, you get to the fucking playoffs and it's sudden death. It's all coin toss and you can gain, 35, maybe 40 yards and you can win.
Yes. Oh, there was one thing I wanted to ask you too. Not ask you, but I wanted to mention. You know what the one historic event that happened in this Super Bowl outside of overtime? I didn't even realize it. And that's how different the game is now. I didn't even realize this.
Yes, I do know it, but go ahead and tell everybody.
This is the first Super Bowl in history we didn't have a kick return. Or like no one returned a kick.
Yeah.
Every kickoff was out of bounds or, a touchback.
I Scotty, I'm afraid. I'm a old
They're gonna
guy.
They're gonna eliminate the kickoff.
It's gone.
They're gonna eliminate the kickoff.
I don't know if it's gonna be next year, but it's gone. It's gone.
I couldn't believe we didn't notice that.
I hate it.
But the fact that I didn't notice it means you can get rid of it and it's not going to affect the game.
I don't know how I feel about it. We'll have to get into it in another episode deeper because I don't know whether I would rather have the kickoff and have it be some fucking XFL thing or something different, where it's a complete gimmick or whatever. But
we will
want to eliminate it.
We will get into this another show, but I will leave this little nugget, a little sprink for you.
Sprinks.
How many players would you say on average play just special teams on each team?
Oh, I mean, shit. Out of the 53, it's probably what, like 8? 6 or 8?
So let's just round it up to, let's say 8. Okay. Let's just say 8. So 8 times 32. Guess what? I got at least one more team for overseas. I'm not playing.
Yeah. No,
Look, they're going to cross-utilize more guys for the extra point. They'll probably fucking fuck with the punt, and they'll cut the kickoff. And those extra players, they'll start telling teams, look, this guy's a football player. Use him to be a receiver. You're going to get watered-down sport, but you're going to be able to fill teams.
Yeah. No, it's coming. I think you're right. I think we're going to get
roster's going to go from like 53 to like 38 or something.
We're going to get minimum. We'll probably get minimum 2 new teams, and you'd add either one in per East division, or what you believe, which I think is feasible as well,
entire division,
or a whole nother fucking European division. which would be asinine. But that's just
we'll get into it. I got a whole theory on it. We'll have a whole
Yeah.
mini show on it, and then I'll tell you what I think from what I've heard and what makes sense to me. But that's all I got for today.
Real quick before we leave, I will guarantee you right now, because this is huge now, right now in Jacksonville. They are looking for a stadium. They need a new stadium. And they're looking for the funding. And if I had to guess,
they're definitely gone.
The Khan family is going to somehow rig this shit to where they can't get the money from Jacksonville, just like Oakland did with the Athletics. And I think they're going to London.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I think's happening.
There's no way Jacksonville doesn't go there.
Nah. So you're going to see the London fucking Jaguars in another 3 or 4 years. But all right, Scotty, this was good tonight. And fucking another live edition in the books. Man, I dig this shit. We'll need some more comments. We're getting some comments on our videos now, like organically, which I'd love.
Hey, give us some shit we can answer, man.
Yeah, we will answer you all the time. You got something, we're going to answer it. Okay, this is what we do. But Scotty G, that's it for you, huh?
That's it, man. I got nothing.
All right, baby. Well, and for Scotty G, this is Rocco B saying see you later and sayonara.
Adios.